Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a seriously spine-tingling explainer. We're going to be breaking down a gripping Bengali supernatural narrative called Shadow of the Midnight Crematorium. We'll literally dissect this story step by step to see exactly how it builds that creeping tension, sets up a terrifying atmosphere, and most importantly, what happens when human skepticism gets pushed way past its limits.
So, let me ask you, do you believe in ghosts? Or are you the type who thinks it's all just human imagination? You know, we all probably have that one friend who absolutely refuses to believe in anything they can't physically see, right? Well, in our story, that guy is Arnab. He is firmly planted in the logic-only camp. To him, the supernatural is just fairy tales made up by superstitious folks. But as we're going to see as we unpack this, extreme skepticism? Yeah. It's actually the perfect setup for a brutal reality check.
Now to set the mood, the story relies on a massive contrast. Picture Chandanpur. By day, it's this peaceful, quiet, completely normal village. But the second the sun goes down and a heavy, dark thunderstorm rolls in, boom, it transforms into an absolute nightmare of a landscape. It's like day and night, literally. This duality is a classic horror trick, and it works so well. The environment itself basically becomes a villain, isolating our main character and stripping away all that cozy daylight comfort. All right, moving into Section 1, the Haunted Crematorium and Arnab's Dare. Let's look at where this all goes down.
Because every good village has that one cursed spot, right? For Chandanpur, it's this ancient crematorium on the outskirts, absolutely smothered in dark local legends. The elders swear up and down that anyone who goes there after midnight is just not coming back the same. But of course, Arnab's friends decide to test his arrogance with a dare. And that brings us to the magic number, 12 a.m., the midnight hour. The dare sounds simple. Go to the crematorium exactly at midnight, walk up to the old banyan tree right in the middle, and ring the bell hanging from it. Sounds like a standard bravery test, sure. But that specific time? It's a threshold. By stepping in at exactly 12 a.m., Arnab is unknowingly signing the terms and conditions of a world he doesn't even believe exists. You can actually track the psychological trap closing in on him minute by excruciating minute. At 11:55 p.m., Arnab walks in, dead silent, just crickets. But at exactly midnight, his flashlight starts flickering and dies, and his cell service completely drops. 0 bars, total isolation. By 12:05 a.m., he makes it to the banyan tree and rings that bell. And then, at 12:10 a.m., the real horror kicks in. Notice how the environment systematically strips away all his modern safety nets. His light, his phone, way before the spooky stuff even starts. It's brilliant.
Actually, right before he reaches the tree, he gets his first weird encounter. He spots this elderly woman dressed all in white, just slowly walking in the pitch black. Arnab calls out to her, but she just silently melts into the shadows. Now, because he's such a skeptic, his brain instantly tries to rationalize it. He tells himself, oh, it's probably just a local woman out for a late stroll. Which is crazy, right? But it's a super fascinating look at cognitive dissonance. How our brains will cling to logic for dear life, even when the impossible is happening right in front of our faces.
Okay, so that brings us to Section 2, the trap and the ringing bell, the real turning point.
So Arnab reaches the ancient banyan tree, grabs the bell, and rings it hard. The sound echoes through the dead silence. For like 1 second, he feels pretty smug. He thinks he won the dare. But the exact moment the echo stops, the whole vibe changes. The air around him suddenly turns freezing cold, like walk-in freezer cold. He feels this heavy, unseen presence standing right behind him. And then he hears a whisper, "Go back." He whips around, and there is literally no one there. Then the voice repeats, closer this time, right in his ear. This is where his psychological break starts. His precious logic just cannot explain what his senses are telling him.
Now here is where it gets truly wild. When he finally panics and tries to run away, he gets stuck in an endless loop. He's sprinting toward the exit gate, but no matter how fast he runs, the gates don't get any closer. Instead, the path just keeps spitting him back out right in front of that exact same banyan tree. It is a brilliant, terrifying spatial trap. His logic is completely useless now because the physical laws of reality have just been thrown right out the window.
And then we hit peak nightmare fuel. Trapped at this tree, Arnab suddenly finds himself surrounded by these shadowy white figures. No faces, pitch black eyes, just staring at him. Out of this crowd steps a little girl in white. She giggles and asks, "Will you play with me?" When she looks up, Arnab realizes she doesn't even have eyes, just empty black sockets. This visual right here, it perfectly captures that pure, raw terror that finally shatters whatever is left of his arrogant disbelief.
Which leads us right into Section 3, the warning and the protector.
Arnab is running blindly in absolute terror, hearing these horrific crying sounds all around him, until he literally trips and collapses in front of this old, broken grave. Now, what's really interesting is that the aggressive threat suddenly pauses. The story shifts gears to deliver its core lesson. Carved on the tombstone, it says, "Those who come with arrogance never return as the same person." This is the moral anchor of the whole explainer today. The crematorium isn't just some spooky place full of monsters. It's an equalizer. It punishes hubris. Arnab wrote all this disrespect into a dangerous, sacred space, and the consequence is the total destruction of his worldview.
Just as he gives up hope and his flashlight dies for good, leaving him in total darkness, a freezing hand grabs his shoulder. He opens his eyes, and it's the elderly woman he saw earlier. She gives him a chilling warning. Do not play with fear. Some places are not for humans. Turns out, this spirit, who the villagers later explain as the crematorium's ancient protector who actually died trying to save people, she's not there to hurt him. In a flash, she teleports him safely to the outside gates. She completely cured his arrogance, but she let him keep his life. And finally, we arrive at Section 4, the epilogue twist, a lingering shadow. Now, the story could have just ended there, right? Arnab runs home, totally humbled, never makes fun of ghosts again, wrapping up with a bow. But a truly masterful horror story never lets you or the main character feel totally safe. A week later, Arnab is watching a video he recorded on his phone that night, and it completely flips the script on his escape. Let's walk through this agonizing sequence. Step 1, we see him walking alone in the dark. Step 2, a tall, massive dark shadow just blinks into existence right behind him. Step 3, the shadow slowly turns its head and looks dead into the camera lens. Step 4, the phone abruptly shuts off. Arnab thought he was alone on that initial walk. He wasn't. The horror wasn't just waiting for him at the tree, it was stalking right behind him the entire time. And this proves the curse isn't just stuck behind the physical gates of the crematorium. Oh no, it reaches right out of the dark and into his normal life. Every single year, on that exact same day, at exactly midnight, his phone rings. It's always an unknown number. At first, there's no voice, just the super creepy sound of that old metal bell ringing. And then, a faint whisper, "Come again." So yeah, he might have physically escaped the dirt and the trees, but psychologically, supernaturally, he is permanently chained to that banyan tree. Which brings us to the final unsettling thought I want to leave you with today. Knowing what happened to Arnab, and knowing that absolute arrogance can invite things that pure logic just can't fix, if an unknown call lights up your phone at exactly 12 a.m. tonight, will you answer it? Thanks for hanging out and exploring this explainer with me. I really hope this deep dive helped illuminate the brilliant mechanics of this tale. Stay curious, stay observant, and hey, maybe keep a light on tonight for sure.